Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are decoding what I like to call a massive glitch in human psychology. We're going to figure out the exact mechanism that causes us to quit our goals, and more importantly, how to finally build an unbreakable system to achieve them. Look, if you've ever felt totally frustrated by your own lack of follow through, you are absolutely not alone. And you're in the right place. Let's get into it. So let's dive right into the core question. Why do goals always get abandoned? I mean, think about your own life for a second. You set that alarm for 5 a.m., right? And for a week straight, you jump out into the freezing cold morning air, totally pumped up to hit the gym. You literally feel like a brand new person. But by day 20, yeah, you're hitting snooze 5 times, pulling the covers over your head, and completely ditching the routine. So what actually changes in your brain between day 1 and day 20? That brings us to section 1, why that initial enthusiasm just breaks. We all know this honeymoon phase intimately. You never miss a workout in week 1, you buy all the new gear, you perfectly prep your meals, or say you're studying for a huge exam and you easily crush 3 hours those first few days. You've got endless, brilliant ideas for a new side hustle. Basically, we all start off feeling completely unstoppable. But then, almost overnight, the drive just vanishes. The goal is still there, the dream is still there, the actual physical work required is exactly the same, but suddenly, just dragging yourself to the desk or the gym feels like you're pulling a 1,000-pound anchor. Now, here is a crucial takeaway. This failure, it isn't because you're lazy or because you somehow magically lack discipline. People love to blame laziness, but think about it logically for a second. If you were truly lazy, there's no way you would have been able to wake up at 5 a.m. for a week in the first place. The truth is, there's an incredibly powerful psychological mechanism operating inside your brain, actively dictating this behavior. It's like a hidden script just running in the background. Let's unpack that in section 2, the truth, gamer versus student. This dynamic brilliantly illustrates the core issue we're facing. Logically, studying for an exam or building a business is way more important for your actual survival than playing a video game, right? Yet a gamer will happily sit there for 6 or 7 hours, grinding away without ever getting tired. Why on earth is that? Well, it's because the brain is getting instant proof of progress. Every single minute, they're leveling up, collecting digital coins, hearing that satisfying rank increase, their brain is practically taking a bath in dopamine. The student, on the other hand, quits after 30 minutes because the reward is literally months away. You stare at a textbook in silence for an hour, and absolutely nothing visible changes in your life. And this brings us to a massive behavioral trap called invisible progress. Think of a seed planted in the dirt. For days, maybe even weeks, nothing happens on the surface. But underneath, vital, complex roots are forming. Real structural growth is happening. But here's the catch. The human brain absolutely hates underground growth. Because our brains evolved to survive in the present moment, constantly scanning the environment for immediate food or immediate danger. If it can't see the progress today, it just assumes nothing is happening at all. So what does it do? It shuts down your drive to conserve energy. Moving on to section 3, track actions, not results. Because our brains demand that visible proof right now, today, we usually get our tracking completely wrong. We obsess over metrics we don't directly control. Things like YouTube views, exam marks, or the numbers staring back at us on a bathroom scale. These are flawed metrics simply because they're uncontrollable future results. Tracking them actually kills your drive. Because every time you step on that scale and see zero change, your brain gets the signal that you failed. It triggers anxiety, not motivation. The optimal strategy? Tracking your daily controllable actions. The number of videos scripted, the actual pages read, or the exact number of days you dragged yourself to the gym. This gives your brain the exact immediate proof of progress it is literally craving. Once you shift to action tracking, you unlock this really fundamental biological truth. Your brain doesn't actually need perfect, massive results to stay motivated. It just needs momentum. It's exactly like riding a bicycle. The absolute hardest, most exhausting part is that initial push to get those heavy pedals moving, right? But once you have momentum, keeping your balance and coasting forward is surprisingly easy. Your brain just needs the momentum of knowing you are moving forward, no matter how slow that movement is. Action tracking proves that movement is happening. Which brings us to section 4, the don't feel like it game. So even with momentum on your side, what happens on those cold mornings when that little voice in your head says, "Ugh, I just don't feel like doing it today"? Well, your brain is constantly running a background calculation of effort versus reward speed. This perfectly explains why getting instant dopamine from scrolling reels on your phone feels incredibly attractive compared to a strenuous workout. Swiping your thumb takes absolutely zero effort, and it pays out an instant, flashy reward. The gym? That takes massive physical effort, and the reward is a healthier body months down the line. Because your brain can't physically experience the future, it naturally just gravitates toward present comfort. Because of that constant calculation, it is vital to completely reframe how you view hesitation. Not feeling like working isn't some deep reflection of your reality, and it is certainly not a measure of your potential. It is literally just a biological signal from a brain trying to save energy by prioritizing comfort over some future unrealized goal. When you say, "I don't feel like it," your brain is just acting like the battery saver mode on your phone. It's just a biological output, guys. It's not a valid excuse to quit. And that leads perfectly into Section 5. Consistency is a system. Since we now know the brain is always going to try to negotiate for comfort, we have to stop playing the motivation game entirely. Look, if you wake up like an amateur and ask yourself, do I want to go to the gym today? Your brain is instantly going to generate 5 brilliant excuses to stay in bed. Why? Because you gave it an option to negotiate. Consistent people never make decisions in the moment. Their decisions are locked in beforehand, which means there are absolutely zero alternative options available for the brain to negotiate with. This builds into a really foolproof daily routine. Step 1, pick the specific action. Step 2, lock in the exact time the night before. Step 3, execute without negotiating. By setting your schedule the night before and completely removing all alternate options, you ensure that when the time comes, your brain doesn't have to burn precious energy deciding. It only has to execute. You bypass decision fatigue entirely, making the action feel almost automatic. When you make your actions truly non-negotiable and you eliminate that decision-making process, you unlock the ultimate secret to high performance. Consistency is not, and honestly never has been, a game of fleeting, unreliable motivation. It is entirely a game of solid, pre-planned systems. So as we wrap up this explainer, I've got a challenge for you. What is the one specific, non-negotiable action you are going to pre-decide and lock into your system for tomorrow? Seriously, think about it right now. Don't leave it up to your tired morning brain to negotiate. Decide right now, lock it in, and take back control of your momentum. Thanks so much for hanging out and learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.